hey, there's something called a sequence when it comes to developing your skills on this instrument. And if you don't follow that sequence, you're constantly going to fall in and out of really doing the most to develop your skills. And that sequence is simply a matter of you have to be inspired, right? You have to be inspired to play. You have to really, you know when you're inspired. You want to practice. You're motivated to do it. Sometimes if you're really inspired, you can't think of anything else than your instrument and the results you want to create and what you want to play. But then when you're not inspired, it's like it disappears from your life, more or less. You look at your guitar and say, I remember being inspired, but I'm just not there yet. Oh, I'm just not there right now. And that's something you can do something about, right? It's because you've forgotten that focusing on that area, that first part of the sequence of being inspired, is something we think that we don't have to do, but it's part of practicing. It's part of developing your skills. So what I recommend that you do is that you become very aware and very conscious about feeding your mind and feeding your body so you get those emotions of inspiration and passion around your instrument. And if you do that, you'll practice more and you'll get more out of practicing, because the number one thing that determines whether or not you get results when you practice is how passionate you are about it. If you don't, I'm just practicing a little bit, and then the brain simply says, okay, the fingers are moving, but I don't, that doesn't necessarily have to become, long-term learning. I don't have to build patterns in my brain that, that's not important, because it's not important to you, because you're basically just, killing some time with your instrument. But if you're passionate and enthusiastic and interested, then suddenly you're really into it, right? You focus and you say, okay, and you measure your progress, and suddenly things start happening because you take that thing, that guitar learning thing, and bring it to the highest level in your brain. And then it becomes important because all those emotions are put into it, right? And so your brain really starts carving some patterns in your brain in order to learn these things. So inspiration is crucial. It's where everything begins. And 99.9% of us don't think about it. We just, haphazardly expect to be inspired sometimes and sometimes not. But what if you took over and consciously, with awareness, really said, okay, what does inspire me? You can't be equally passionate all the time, like 1,000% all fired up, right? You have to go back and forth. But overall, what inspires you? Visiting the store, playing a new guitar, does that inspire you? Watching concert movies with guys you like, musicians you like, does that inspire you? What tends what really fires you up? Is it looking at that guitar? And don't be shy about it. Don't be, timid and not timid, but don't be ashamed that, wanting to buy a new guitar actually fires you up to practice. If that's what it does, then by all means make sure that you shop without spending money all the time in order to be fired up about guitar and practicing. Just do whatever it takes to feed that part. And if you forget to do so because you have job and work and obligations and everything just right, then set it as a reminder in your calendar. So you constantly remind yourself, or set little post-it notes up and say, have you watched, your favorite guitar players play today? Did you watch those? Or did you spend like 15 minutes on YouTube just browsing around for stuff that inspires you? Those things are important because that's where the sequence of learning starts, right? And that's where you really amp up and turbocharge your practice session. Because now you're passionate, and then you're learning even faster, much faster, like, 3 or 4 times faster than if you're not that passionate. So I warmly recommend that you make this a ritual. Every single week, every single day, you have little rituals that you do each day that tends to inspire you, right? You go to YouTube, you watch those videos, or you watch your favorite players, or you listen to your favorite music in the car, whatever it tends to inspire you, and then you make sure that you fill your world with that each and every day.